Right, I just have to start this. I haven't got much time. Not very good at starting these videos. So the point here is I'm quite a lot older than most people when they discover they're furry, which has this unusual effect that I've had quite a long life beforehand when it wasn't a thing for me. And so I know a lot of people in communities and so forth who are not furry, and even better, have no idea what it is. So going and sort of taking what I've done to them is kind of an interesting experience that I don't think too many furries have. I mean, most of them seem to have learned they were furry when they were about like 8, and then they were watching YouTube videos and already in some kind of community by the time they're 13 or something, and they've never known anything else. And the idea that there are people who have no idea what this thing is, it doesn't make any sense to them. It still doesn't make much sense to me, but and I'm in it, so I think it's an interesting perspective. So, sort of as an example, we had one of our friends this weekend wanted to come up and do some sea kayaking with us in North Wales. Let me just check the video. Yeah, video's still going. And he's one of these outdoors people who doesn't take much interest in VR because of obviously that's like not actual active and in the real world and doing stuff. You try and explain things like the soaring fitness exercise to them, and you got a headset on and you're actually exercising, but it's not virtual exercise; it's exercise in the virtual reality. But anyway, so we went out sea kayaking, and I've noticed whenever I was doing these things, certainly in the past, I seem to have more of a keenness to be in a wetsuit and out in the water splashing around than anybody else. Everyone else is like want to do the paddling and stuff, and I'm a bit more kind of like into the swimming in the environment and the wetsuits and stuff than anyone else, and I sort of put that down to my furriness, perhaps. So here's a case with these seals on the first day. You can see occasionally a little head poking up. No, that's me there. And the seals are quite curious, but they're also very shy. So they'll only come up when you're not looking at them, really. So if I'm looking at him there, and if I'm now swimming away, then he'll come up. And if I turn around, he's going to disappear again. And on this day, they actually would, if you kept swimming in the same direction, they actually would come up and like start poking your legs and stuff to check out what you're made of. This is then a little later. This is the next day. Spent a night with someone else, and on the sea kayaks, the seals only come up behind you. So I was like holding my GoPro camera backwards to try and catch pictures of them when they had their heads up. There we go. I mean, the camera has such a wide field of view, things look far away, even if the seals are like almost within arm's reach of you. Let's see, yeah. There were a lot of them. We even went past a seal colony where there were like about 100 of them all out on the rocks. They really kind of have the character of dogs, I think, in the way that they kind of come up. They do a lot of snuffling as well. We did also find a whole bunch of seals in a sea cave. Oh, here we go. Off I go swimming. No one else joins me to do this. So these are these little sort of frog fins, which are much more convenient and smaller to paddle with. Like I said, I usually prefer to do kayak diving than sea kayaking, but it wouldn't have been a good day for it because the water is so murky you couldn't see very much. I dived a couple of times to the bottom, but there was just, you could see about the 2 arms lengths out. So I don't know how these seals are catching any fish because they can't see anything as well. But when you swim around, I did see some seals on while swimming, but they didn't really catch on the camera. So later on we get a bit of mucking about on other people's boats. Coming up, where'd it go? Yeah, how are we doing? Can I look there? Yeah, I'm sort of got this little camera that I'm watching here to see what's showing up on the camera there. So I can look there, say hello straight in. There we go. Yeah, really bad lighting here. Yeah, there you go. You can sort of climb up onto someone else's kayak and get them a bit cross. Yeah, all right. Splash them a bit. Yeah, you notice that everyone's sort of wearing dry clothes, like sweaters and something instead of wetsuits, because they want to do the kayaking and not the sort of swimming around like a furry person would do in a sort of fursuit or a wetsuit or whatever. Oh yeah, little cave to wander into. That was too small to go into. There were some pretty big ones that were full of seals, and that was quite terrifying when you'd hear them all inside. Let's see. Oh, bit more swimming. Didn't do much editing here. Now, if you see up on the rock up there, you see my kayak. There we go. There's my kayak right up on the rock, and then we kind of end up with a bit of straightforward kayaking along the coastline. That's what we're supposed to do. None of this swimming around stuff. Yeah, let me just see. So the video's about done. I'm going to talk a little bit more if I can remember what to talk about. We'll go. Yeah, let's see. I can hear that car. This world is sort of like a Cuddle Clone world, but you can't see the Cuddle Clone, so I can't show you that. We're going to go into the shower room because that's kind of nice. Let's see, is that working? Yeah, let's go. Let's see. Nope. Go through the door. Come straight up the stairs. Yeah. The lighting's so bad here. Let's see if we can see. So we're just kind of like moving the thing. So this world has lovely water physics. Let's just fix that up. So I can kind of like take one of these shower heads, sort of myself a nice shower. It feels quite good. You know, when you do VR and you start getting a lot of phantom sense, which is quite pleasant. Anyway, just to finish off. So between, how are we going to turn that shower off? Maybe we just have to go somewhere a bit quieter. Go down. There might even be some light down here. Make sure this video doesn't go on too long. Yeah, so what was kind of odd, let's see, is that, turn it around there. Yeah. Turn it up a bit. There we go. Hello. Right. Yeah, so what was kind of odd about this weekend, so we stayed the night between those 2 days with another old friend who was a caver, and I hadn't seen for about a year. Certainly I was showing him VR last year and VR chat and showing their kids that, but that was before all this furry stuff blew up, and that was, you know, my sort of story was I thought I knew about VR until this happened. But I asked the kids, you know, what they thought of furries, and they thought, oh, it's those weirdos that think they're animals. Yeah, like this is really an animal, who should be locked up. So I thought that's not too good an audience. So in a kind of unusual way, I decided to break the news about it all by putting on my presentation, you know, my 10-minute PowerPoint presentation about my origin story to them, the same one I gave to the hacker camp a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, I don't know whether they were stunned, or I actually don't think they understood any of it, really. In fact, that's quite a common thing with me, is I can go through explaining stuff in great detail and it's quite clear none of it's gone in. You know, there weren't any questions of it afterwards. The kids didn't seem to want to know more about it. So I don't know, and so that's kind of like where it sort of connects to this thing. So if I am doing this kind of project of attempting to do a reasonably good version of this thing here as a fursuit, which is what this video series is about, I pretty much minded that I'm going to take it into some of these communities, maybe like the kayaking community, maybe show up at one of their pubs wearing a fursuit, or the caving community at some social event or something, maybe even the hang gliding community, because I don't think anyone's getting it at all, and this might get their attention a little bit, because one of my sort of motivations is there seem to be a hell of a lot of furries out there in the when you go to Ferality or something, and I know a heck of a lot of people in these communities of different sporting activities, and there has to be someone. There's no overlap at all, from what I can tell. There has to be someone. I mean, there's loads of trans people in the caving community, so I can't believe I'm the only overlap between all of this at all. So that's kind of like where this comes into it, and perhaps you just have to go with a fursuit to get anyone's attention, and maybe it will, and maybe they'll just blank it. I have no idea what that is, not even see it. I'll be like somebody else's problem field, but that'll be a fun thing to do. So now I've got more things to do with the fursuit than just show up at conventions. Then I guess that's me.